By now, many of you would have seen the truly worrisome and horrific scenes that took place all across major cities over the weekend in Australia. I'm talking about the pro-Palestinian Muslims that decided to shut down all of Australia's major cities on Sunday to march and chant obscene things like free Palestine from the river to the sea. I saw NASA, one of the organizers who I honestly cannot stand, who says that until there is a one-state solution, they're not going to stop free Palestine from the river to the sea. I can't stand that man, and for damn well good reason. He is a man of hate. He is spreading this vile hatred that Israel doesn't have a right to exist. That's why he's saying the one-state solution, and he's threatening everyone, our leaders as well, to say, we're not going to stop these protests until we get what we want. Do you really believe him, my friends? Do you really believe that these people are ever going to stop? Why is it that our government are complicit in this? Why won't they condemn people that are waving the Hamas flag? I mean, our Premier, David Crisafulli, had the courage to call it out and condemn it. But you won't see Albanese condemn it. You won't see Tony Burke or Penny Wong or any of the others condemn it. No, you'll hear Tony Burke saying the March for Australia protest is no longer going ahead. The immigration minister, for goodness sake, telling Sky News that the March for Australia is not going ahead because he says so. But yet these pro-Palestinian marches every single weekend can shut down businesses so they lose trade. They can cause chaos in the streets. All for what? All to signify that they've taken over Australia. They control the streets. But yet actual Australians that are worried about this nonsense can't protest themselves. I thought we're allowed to protest in Australia. I thought we live in a free society. Or are you telling me that's gone? Are you telling me that we no longer have the right as Australian citizens to march on the streets when we are fed up with this kind of nonsense? Is that what you're telling me, government? Because that's what it seems like. You're calling me a Nazi. You're calling everyday hardworking Australians that are fed up and tired of the 1,500 people that Albanese is letting in a day. We're tired of paying $11.9 million every single time these people decide to have a protest on the streets. All for what? They're not accomplishing jack. Meanwhile, we've got homeless people. We've got so many issues that are going on, but yet it's all being wasted on these people. People that put up signs like generation after generation until total liberation. Or how about wearing the Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, a known terrorist? How about wearing his face on a shirt while marching? How about flying the Hamas flag? Or how about this? Execute war criminals. Albo, Wong, Netanyahu. How about that, Albo? The very people that you try and defend and you pander to want your head. They want you gone. Not just that, they want Wong and they want Netanyahu. They do not care if you pander to them or not. The only people that really do care, you're ostracizing and you're causing havoc for us. And you're branding us as the actual homegrown terrorists. We're not. You're branding us as hateful. We're not. We're just done. We're fed up with people like this. We're fed up with the division. What's it going to take, Albanese? What's it going to take, Wong? People like this. Look at this guy. Known for spreading death messages. Known for spreading hate and division. And you're allowing it. You are a coward, Albanese. Here's the girl yesterday masked up wearing Yahya Sinwar with a gun. and that's somehow allowed on the streets of Australia? You can't say that that is a free expression whilst also waving the Hamas flag, whilst also waving the other known terrorist flag as well. Nothing happens to them. But yet, for some reason, true patriots on the Brisbane Bridge on Sunday, 2 of them were arrested by police officers. They did nothing wrong. Have a watch of this.
These police standing here watching while we're being pelted and disrupted by Palestinian protesters, waving flags in our face, and the police are standing here doing nothing while they're intimidating us. They're doing nothing while they surround us. These police that you're paying for to support.
So the man that recorded that, he was the one that was arrested for waving an Australian flag after the pro-Palestinian nut jobs were throwing things and pelting them, and the police are just standing there. We're paying for these police officers, I'll have you know. Oh, and in case you weren't already aware of this, every single time these people protest, which is every single bloody weekend, it costs you a lot of money. It costs me a lot of money for resources, which could be used for other things. But no, they've got to divert resources to these protests. What are they accomplishing? Absolutely nothing. Have a watch of Big Chocky talk about it.
You fund the anti-Australia rallies. Watch this.
Why are we spending $11.3 million, I'll say it again, $11.3 million by sending police resources being pulled away from other areas like fighting crime and dealing with domestic violence issues to babysit a bunch of protesters on a Sunday afternoon?
While we've got families struggling to have food on their plate, while parents can't find homes, while mothers with children are sleeping in their cars, our government has had to spend $11.3 million on rallies that have effectively turned to anti-Australia marches. Now let that sink in for 1 second. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I understand the humanitarian reason why they want to march, but every Sunday, consistently, to a point where it costs our government $11.3 million is ridiculous. And that's my take from the controversial coach.
$11.3 million our government is spending to babysit these people. The anti-Australia marches, that's what it's really about. But somehow, for whatever reason, these protests go ahead. The mainstream media protects them because they don't want to be seen as going against the Palestinian cause. You know what else is going on? They're afraid. Police are scared of the Muslim community. They're scared of the pro-Palestinian mob because there's too many of them. And so they much rather, they find it a lot easier to arrest 2 men on a bridge to remove them because apparently they're inciting violence. That's much better for them to do for safety reasons, because apparently waving the Australian flag in a protest in a sea full of pro-terrorists, when you wave the Australian flag, it causes a great deal of anger. If you are getting angry at someone waving the Australian flag, you should not be in Australia, period. Why aren't at any of these rallies, why isn't the Australian flag being waved at all? Why is it only a pro-terrorist flag? We're losing our culture. We're losing our identity to these people that do not care. They could not care less. They hate our culture. They have taken over our culture. And if we want to march on the 31st to try and take back our country, we have a right to do so. And it's not because we're racist. It's a stupid word now. It's not because were xenophobic or whatever other term they want to use. What it's really about is us taking back what's rightfully ours, what our great grandfathers or our grandfathers or people that went to war, what our Anzacs fought for peace, freedom. Not to have these dingbats every single weekend take up resources for what? I get why they're doing it, but it's not doing anything except showing us all that we're screwed, that we've been taken over. If they can shut down businesses, streets, mark my words, they will shut down Australia for good, and they'll turn it into their own utopia. That's what they're going to do. And we're letting them. Thank God they've banned the Nazi salute, right? Thank God for the new hate speech laws. Thank God for digital ID to keep the kiddies safe. Thank God they are funding an Islamophobia hotline. Thank God for the cultural enrichment of mass immigration. Australia is truly blessed, right? Obviously, we're being sarcastic. These laws. Oh, and New South Wales spent over $1 million funding this Islamophobic hotline. A nonsensical word for Muslims to call up and complain about Islamophobia. Oh, by the way, you're not allowed to criticize government nowadays in New South Wales. They made it a crime. It is a crime now to criticize any religion, but mostly Muslim. But if you just go, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions, right? That's apparently allowed. None of it makes any sense anymore. The Australia that I love, I don't see it anymore. I just don't. We're being run by lunatics, run by people that don't actually love Australia, couldn't care less. All they seem to care about are the immigrants coming in, the pro-Palestinian nut jobs. Made a rod for our own back. And the good ones that are trying their best to stand up and keep whatever is left of Australia alive, they're few and far between. Being caught and held captive by corruption in Australia. Enough's enough. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.